Hello everybody, this is Cyrus here, back with another Matchbox review. Instead of looking at more than one casting like I typically do for my basic videos, I decided to just focus on this one new casting because I can tell you this casting, it's the best way of describing it is it just wants its own video. Here we have the Sherp N1200. This is a big amphibious vehicle. It is a licensed casting for anyone who's wondering. And this is one of those castings that I could kind of see peg warming, but I could also see it being kind of popular at the same time. I'm going to get this casting opened. We're going to get a better look at it. And I am actually going to be testing this in the water, since this can operate in water. So let's get right into it. Alright, here is the Sherp out of the package. Now, I know what you're thinking. At first glance of this vehicle, this does not look like something that would go on the water. However, these tires are of a self-inflating design, giving the vehicle enough buoyancy to stay afloat when in the water. Also, it's because of this that the tires also act as paddles to move the vehicle when in the water, instead of having a rear-mounted propeller to move it through. One concern I did have when seeing this casting revealed at the Matchbox gathering was that the body may be plastic just due to the large size of it. I mean, it's not too large, but typically with any big body style vehicle, they'll typically do a plastic body. But this one was lucky enough to have a metal body being used and plastic base being used. Also, you may have noticed that this casting is using the real working rigs wheels, therefore the larger ones. I think this is a better option to have them retool some new wheels specifically for this casting, as we have gotten some new wheels for new castings in the past, and I do like that. But I think it's kind of more unique to use the real working rig wheels on this vehicle. In terms of how you would enter, you might be puzzled due to the fact that there's no door on the side, and that's because this front windshield actually acts as a front opening hatch. The windshield would fold up, and then that little yellow rectangle right there is another half of the hatch that would fold down. You also have the same going on with the back side. That window would fold up, and you could fold down that yellow piece there, and it would kind of act as like a swim deck if you had to jump off the back of the vehicle for making a swim out to somewhere or something like that. It also does provide that optional access if you had the vehicle parked up into a dock area. And just to quickly show the example, I'm going to pull out the dock on my Matchbox playset. It is a little bit finicky to where I have to hold it down when having the vehicle park up against next to it or in front of it, but it does work nonetheless. And in case you want to do the other end, again, because this is not a moving parts casting in the basics, it is worth noting that that isn't going to come down, but if you want to pretend it does, it could work. Because of the larger real working rigs wheels being used, this casting might get caught on some areas of your Matchbox playsets, but at the same time, this is less so of a city vehicle, so using it with city playsets like the transportation center really wouldn't be that realistic. But still, if you wanted to, it appears to work through the elevator area. And quickly giving it a quick test out with the spiral mechanism on this playset, we'll see how it does there. If it gets stuck or not. Yeah, it might be a little big. I mean, you can kind of move it through with your fingers, but it will still get caught in some areas. Come on. Push it through. There we go. And finally, to conclude the video, we're going to test this out in some real water. Now, one of the big concerns behind die-cast is when putting it in water, there's always a risk of the axles rusting, but I did fill it up only a little bit and gave some test when filling it to make sure the axles wouldn't make any contact with the water. And I can worry about it less so here, since it's using the larger real working rig wheels. And it does pretty well. So if you bought this for your kid and they wanted to use it in the water, they could. It might not be intended to be used as a bath toy. Well, technically might not. It's not intended to be used as a bath toy, but if you use it in some shallower water like I'm doing here, you could easily get away with this. And to end the video off back on dry land, in terms of my final thoughts and opinions, I think that this is a pretty good casting in my opinion. Whether you choose to buy this casting or not is up to you. It's really not one you should feel like you have to go out of your way to buy, but I would highly recommend it if you're interested in picking this one up. I also would like to address that this is only the 4th or 5th amphibious vehicle we've gotten in the Matchbox range. So for those who like collecting amphibious vehicles, I would also highly recommend it to those types of people as well. Apart from that, that just about wraps it up for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good, safe rest of your day. Bye.